Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, Rigathi Gachagua is the principal advisor to the president, and that means when the president is busy, Gachagua can represent him in areas where he cannot be available. The principal assistant, principal advisor to the president. And the last time I checked, Gachagua and Ruto are still in Nairobi because they were hosting the athletes when they made their way back to this country. All of them are in this country. But we are seeing now Ruto is again sending himself Mudavadi to Zimbabwe to represent him in the inauguration of the president-elect Emmerson Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe, when Gachagua and Ruto are in Nairobi. And many people are asking questions, what is happening? Because we saw Gachagua talking some issues about this one also. Then again, we are seeing Mudavadi is being again sent to represent William Ruto. And this is what was shared from his office, Prime CS Press Service, Executive Office of the President, Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Press release for immediate release, Saturday, September 2nd, 2023, inauguration ceremony of His Excellency Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, President-elect of the Republic of Zimbabwe. The Prime Cabinet Secretary, His Excellency Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, EGH, leave the country tomorrow, Sunday, September 3rd, 2023, for a 2-day official visit to Harare, Zimbabwe. The Prime Cabinet Secretary will present His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, CGH, President of the Republic of Kenya, at the inauguration ceremony of His Excellency Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, President-elect of the Republic of Zimbabwe, who was re-elected in the just concluded general election. The swearing-in ceremony will take place in Harare on Monday, September 4th, 2023 at the National Sports Stadium. On behalf of the government and the people of Kenya, His Excellency William Ruto congratulated President-elect His Excellency Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa on his re-election for the second term. Furthermore, His Excellency President William Ruto commends the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe for peaceful exercising their constitutional right during the elections. Kenya remains steadfast in its commitment to strengthen the long-standing relationship it shares with the government and the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe. Salim Swale, Director of Press Service, Saturday, September 2023. That is the press statement. That means Mudavadi and his team is leaving to Zimbabwe to represent one William Samoei Ruto. So the question is, why is Ruto not comfortable to send Gachagua? And instead, he opted to use himself Mudavadi. Before we answer this question, just a quick request for those who are watching and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing to our channel. Subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, it is now emerging evidently clear that Ruto will no longer be using Rigathi Gachagua when he has some activity that he cannot attend outside and he needs to send someone. Mudavadi is the man who is now set to represent William Samoei Ruto. What I'm learning from this is that Ruto is definitely confirming to Gachagua that we have Gachagua as deputy president, but Mudavadi is also acting in the same capacity, though not in our constitution, as a deputy to Ruto. So Ruto has two deputies. One, a legal one, Gachagua, through the ballot, and he was sworn in. And number 2, Musalia Mudavadi, through the executive order paper number 1 that formed that office. So Ruto is telling Gachagwa, I have someone else who is also just as a deputy like you, and I can use that person. That is the first message. And this tells you that then it is clear that Ruto, to some extent, he is not comfortable with Gachagwa, because Gachagwa is a potential successor of William Samoei Ruto. So Ruto has some fear. He's developing some cold fear, cold feet. Such that if he used Gachagwa every time, there's a possibility that he can be dealt with and Gachagwa will take over power. So the fear of unknown from Gachagwa and the way Gachagwa has been approaching Kenyan politics, he's showing like a dictator. And you know, a dictator can do anything. So Ruto has some fear in Gachagwa that Gachagwa can take over government from him. And because of this, he would not want Gachagwa to have those networks outside here. So he's cutting Gachagwa's down to size. Instead of helping Gachagwa to have the international networks, instead the person who is being given that chance is Musalia Mudavadi. So Mudavadi is growing his international networks. This alone explains another reason here, that Ruto is not comfortable, even if he will serve the second term in office, to have Gachagwa as his successor. Because once you have this international network, it helps you to sell your candidature outside, you know, when it comes to assembling resources. It is easy to get people to help you raise resources for campaign. So because of that, Ruto will not want Gachagwa to have those networks. It also helps you wakati kuna uchaguzi inaendelea na kuna watu wanajaribu kuharibu hiyo uchaguzi, there are people who will make noise for you. So Gachagwa is losing that completely because Ruto does not want him to succeed him in case he will serve his second term in office. Again, another reason is that Gachagwa has been showing signs of a man who is so much revengeful. So that means anything that Ruto will do to Gachagwa, which Gachagwa will not feel comfortable with, in case he becomes the president, Gachagwa is going to revenge. Look on how Gachagwa is treating Uhuru Kenyatta. All sorts of intimidation. The abusive language is using towards Gachagwa, Uhuru. The incitement is doing in Mount Kenya region against Uhuru Kenyatta. It tells you a lot. So Gachagwa is revengeful. Because of this, Ruto would want to cut him to size so that he can control him and manage him by reducing his international networks. Lastly, Gachagwa told the Kenyan that Mudavadi anaenda huko nje kwa sababu vitu zenye anaenda huko kufanya nje si vitu za muhimu. Hazileti maana yote kwa mwananchi wa kawaida. Because of that, he has no time to go outside for such kind of things. He would only go outside on serious matter that is meant to bring resources back to this country. So, already in that way, Gachagwa alikuwa amejikanganya na alijikanga na mafuta yake. So Ruto could be in one way telling Gachagwa that you said these events are not important to you, and because of this, I rather choose another person who will represent me without going with your idea of the impact of that visit or the value in terms of resources or gain the Kenya as a country is going to get. So with that one, Ruto is deciding that I rather send Mudavadi than Rigathi Gachagua. And these are possible reasons why Gachagua will not be sent out. But the message is clear. Gachagua should wake up from slumber and see the writing is in the wall. It is written in capital letters. Ruto is not comfortable with you. You are just there because of the numbers needed in Mount Kenya region. But the only person he might be comfortable with would be Musalia Mudavadi, but not you, Gachagua. And the message is clear.